Hello and welcome to Vibration Energy News with Synergy of Being. My name's Tom Lawless. Had a lot of problems concerning technical stuff with computers, telephones, etc. So it's taken a bit of time to get this out to you, but we're here and the solutions are there. So let's just see what's been happening with the vibrations that's been coming through the universe, through the sun and through the earth to us. So this is our sun over the past week from the dates the 29th through to the 7th. As we can see, that departing coronal hole and the arrival of a sunspot quite up high near the equator. Therefore, it's a sunspot from the old sun cycle, and we will be moving into a new sun cycle at this present time. This is the transition that we're going through. But as we can see around it, there is some coronal holes, and we can see this a lot clearer on the 211 angstroms. The coronal hole is not very well defined, so it's quite complicated for the earthquakes. But we can see that coronal hole, that big coronal hole that seems to be just splurged out across the sun, just in front of that sunspot. And as it comes around, you can see that that coronal hole stretches out behind that sunspot, which has been sort of muting that vibration, that X-ray flux that's coming from that sunspot. And this is here, we can see it in closer detail as the sun turns round towards us. There was a bit of encouraging vibrations that could have been coming our way, because we need this sort of vibration. But as per usual, as it comes in to face the earth, which is pretty much in this spot now, it started dying down, as it has been over the last few years. Here it is in the magnetic field. We can see that there's not a great deal of mixing. The X-ray flux has been very, very quiet, and if anything, it's been sucking on it and dipping it away rather than actually sending that good vibration to us. And the Earth's magnetic field has been incredibly calm. So let's look at the earthquakes now. Here we have, and I've been signaling the earthquakes with the chakra things, and it has been mainly, there you go, you've got the root chakra and the crown chakra that was going off on the 30th, the Sunday I think, and then on the Monday you had the same thing. You had the root chakra going on and the throat chakra coming on round in there, and then you had the root and the crown and the throat chakra. And as we progressed through this week, the crown chakra started coming in a little bit more, but we certainly did get a little bit more pushing onto the solar plexus, and these, all the chakras, but this root chakra kept coming back more and more. And as all these chakras started playing out, there was very little going on in direct hits, as it were. But what we were getting, which was quite interesting, was hits in the southern hemisphere, right by the South Pole and by the North Pole, and these are resetting the system gradually. So as you can see over this video, there's only one hit on the heart chakra, and basically I would declare it as a week-long root chakra. We were talking about as well the South Pole vortex, which has been very strong, which still hasn't really collapsed, although it is losing its form at this present time. This was last week, as it's gradually transferring from the hemisphere, the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere, which you can now see here. I'll just bring that earth round. It's nothing like swinging the earth around. And what we can see for the first time now in the northern vortex is a little bit of red that's coming in, and we can see that up to the top right hand corner that's starting to come in. So it's starting to form, it's starting to get into place. That hurricane that we spotted in the middle of the Atlantic actually broke down, but that's been used to actually fuel that northern hemisphere, that North Pole vortex. So autumn will be coming, and cold temperatures are already starting to come our way. As we can see with the particle situation, it has calmed down a bit in Africa. It's floating nicely across the Atlantic, so I wouldn't expect that much in the way of hurricanes there. But there is a big hurricane that's happening out in Asia, just off of Japan, just off of the throat and third eye chakra. And we can see it here in a lot more detail on the wind map. You can see it's quite a deep one, and that should be hitting in the next 2 or 3 days, should be hitting on Thursday and Friday. So that should be making a lot more wind in the throat and third eye chakra. So watch out for that on Thursday and Friday. Okay, so those are the sort of things that have been happening over this week in the Earth's energies. So what's been happening for us? Well, as we said last week, if you watched last week's Vibration Energy News, I did speak about there being release energy that should be happening, and we saw that all last week with the new solutions that were being proposed for Brexit. Whether you agree with it or not, it's not what I'm concerned about, but we can see this sort of energy coming through in life personally. Sometimes things can happen that we think is a pain in the backside, that is blocking us, but it's not. It's actually just stopping us to actually allow that space to happen so other things can take place, solutions can come forward. Personally, for me, it's been the same thing. I've had technical problems with my computer and my telephone, but it's actually provided me with a really good solution. So sometimes, rather than sort of building up against these sort of blockages, it's actually good to just let go and sort of kind of say, no, I don't need to have that. The solution will be there, and it does come through. This solution, or this release energy, is going to continue, keep going on, and I think for the next sort of 2-3 weeks, to be honest. As we saw earlier on, there was a sunspot that came through, and it is a real transition between the solar cycle 24 and solar cycle 25, which is happening at this moment. Unfortunately, we're going to be getting less and less energy being provided by the sun. So this is not a good thing for, say, like weather and stuff like that. I would have thought over the next 10 years we're going to get some serious cooling going on rather than heating. I know that's a bit against the grain of what everybody says, but that's my take on the vibrations and what's actually coming on. But what it is going to provide for is the space and the time to actually sort of stop and look at what we've been doing over a long period. And when I say long period, I'm talking hundreds of years, where we can actually turn around and say, we can do this differently. And this is a period that's going to last for, I would have thought, as I said earlier, around about sort of 10, 20, possibly even more than that, years. So this could be in your life as well. What's going on at the moment is there is certain grains of sand in the mechanics, but those sort of grains of sand are actually making you slow down, to stop, to take stock of the situation, so you can actually then provide yourself for solutions, and concrete solutions, which are not necessarily built upon outside world. So don't wait for the outside world to give you the solutions. Just be involved in your life. Realize that you don't have to do everything in the old way, and you can let go of a few things. And so, understanding this and being able to actually turn around and just sort of say, no, I don't want to keep doing it like that, I want to do it differently, is a good thing, and it will serve you in the long run. It's sometimes very difficult to do this at the beginning, but it's a good thing to do. And this is the vibration that's been coming through. Just looking at the vibration that was happening last week, last Wednesday, there was a real dip in the vibration, real heavy vibration. So you could have felt from Wednesday right through to the weekend. So that's from the 2nd of October right through to the weekend, the 5th or the 6th or the 7th. You could have felt things were a little bit depressive, but you know what I mean, these things happen. The vibration does slow down like that, but it's also a good time to take stock. This is what the vibration is sort of telling us to do. So this is the theme at the moment. What's coming up for the coming week? I've been looking at the sun, and I think we're going to get a deepening of this release energy. So we're going to start understanding things a lot clearer. Things are actually going to become which were revealed, which were hidden before, which are now going to be revealed, and we're going to be turning around sort of saying, you know what, we thought the world was like this, but it's not actually like this. And things that have been presented to us in a certain way in the past, and this could be on a personal level, but it's also on an international level, could be, will be coming to the fore. As for regards of what's happening with Trump and Turkey and stuff like that, don't worry. I think it will pan out and it will fizzle out, because the release energy is like that. It's not an energy to start building wars and stuff like that. So the way people have been pushing for certain conflicts across the world, I think that will become null and void. And that'll also find that within your life, you'll find that people may be pushing you towards conflict, but you will be able to step out of that if you remain within your root chakra, so you know where you're going and what you want to be doing in your life. If you can quantify that within yourself, all of a sudden it will become a lot easier. So just allow that energy over this next coming week to come out. Try not to be too mental, because it's been very root chakra this week. So try not to be too mental and try to be very practical and living life. Okay? So starting from next week, I think I'm going to be doing the vibration news on a daily basis. They're going to be a lot shorter videos, and we're going to be doing a longer view chat on the Facebook page, the Synergia Being Facebook page. So if you haven't subscribed to that, if you're not following that, please do. Please, of course, subscribe and like this video, and also share it. It helps us with the algorithms and helps us get the message out there. So in the meantime, take it easy, and don't forget, it should be fun.